Hi, I'm Cynthia Kahn, founder of Amused Now, and I'm here today with Dan DiCristofaro and Ethan Bates from the alternative rock band Blue Light Bandits. Hey guys.
Hey Cynthia,
So, who's Dan?
I'm Dan DiCristofaro.
So you must be Ethan. Say hi.
Hi, I'm Ethan.
Well, I want to congratulate you on the success of your self-titled album, Blue Light Bandits.
Thank you very much.
I loved all the songs on the album. It was really hard to pick a favorite, but since I always do, I really love the song Sarah. So tell me, who is Sarah?
Well, Sarah to me, when I was 21 years old, was the most jaw-dropping woman that a 21-year-old could meet in a bar. And she was the bartender at the bar that we played our first local shows at ever. And we developed a amiable work relationship. Um, that was an unfortunate cap on that. But yeah, she just became a friend and a fan, and was just pretty inspiring, and inspired the song. So
Okay. So it sounds like you've been friends and musician buddies for quite some time. Tell us how you met.
So we were in high school. I was in 10th grade, Dan was in 11th grade, and I have been playing cello for a very, very long time, classically. And by that time, about age 16, I was getting pretty burnt out on the classical timeline. And Dan had been taking piano lessons for a few years and was playing on the piano in the music room at school, and people were listening. And we didn't know who each other were at the time, but we ended up in a music theory class together that year, and were some of the only guys in the class, and started using what we were learning in the class to talk about some things we had observed individually as musicians. And Dan had been writing songs and invited me over one day, just having spoken to me in class, and I brought my bass, which I had been just starting to learn how to play, and we tried some things out that we'd both been working on, and there was a click right away. Really exciting feeling that came from both having kind of untapped talent and potential in music creation that we hadn't used in our previous experiences with music, and we haven't stopped playing or writing together ever since.
That's such a great story. I love it when people meet and there's an immediate chemistry.
for sure.
Hmm.
Just like the girl in the bar, huh?
Jeez, I've gotten lucky with people in my life.
Immediate chemistry. Yeah, sure.
So tell me, how did you guys meet drummer Mike Braz and guitarist Tim Clark?
Um, I'll speak to that. I was studying molecular biology in college, and our drummer Mike was studying mechanical engineering. And I'm sure just about the same time we had that gasp moment junior year, and we're like, what are we doing with our lives? We're like, we love music, long to realize it, that we would love to have it be our job too. And both of us ended up applying to Berkeley College of Music in Boston. And we both applied, and we knew each other through a mutual friend, and we had contacted each other, and they were like, oh, this person plays drums, and these two kids have a band, you guys should meet. We were like, yeah, yeah, but he was in Rhode Island, I was in Mass, so it didn't really happen. And then we were both at our Berkeley interview. We signed up for a Berkeley interview at the exact same day, same time. We sat down in the waiting room, and I just turned to my right, and I saw him, and I was like, oh, nice to finally meet you. And so we met there, which was pretty cool, but we both ended up not deciding to pursue Berkeley, as they decided to not accept us. So mutual agreement on closing the door. But Mike and we contacted each other, and we were like, so did you get in? He's like, nope. I was like, did you get in? I was like, nope. And we were like, we should play together now. So he ended up coming and jamming with Ethan and I, and then we just became friends, which is awesome because that's how Ethan and I started. We became friends and then played music together, and Mike just fit right into our friend group really well. and then we started playing, and then it just kind of fit, and
Another
uh,
click of musical chemistry for
yeah,
sure. I felt it right away, and we started playing with Tim back in January of this year. Dan had met him through a show the previous year, and he was one of the few guitarists that we knew at the time. And we brought him up to Mass. He's from Maryland. He played a couple shows with us and learned the majority of our original and cover songs that we play at our gigs out, and was also a really awesome guy to hang out with, and we had no problem inviting him to come spend the summer and now into the fall of this year playing with us. He's a Berkeley guitar player, so he was pretty local and has stayed local, and it's been great to have him around, and we play as much as we can with all four.
yeah.
Well, that's awesome. He got into Berkeley, huh?
He did. He did.
There's no sore spot, I promise.
No.
It's fine.
Well, I love the unique way you storytell through your music. You told me a little bit about it. You didn't get into Berkeley, but you do have some pretty good music background and training. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about it?
Yeah, sure. I started playing drums when I was too young to know what I was doing. Ended up quitting, and my whole family. My dad was a self-taught pianist. My grandma was a classical pianist. My sisters were both studying piano, and I used to listen to them practice, and I used to go up to the piano after they practiced and try to play what I heard them playing, just from ear. And at that point, my parents were like, maybe we should have him take piano lessons too, because I was the youngest of four. So then I started playing piano when I was 9, and it just caught fire, and I loved it. And by the time I hit high school, I'd been practicing and just studying jazz piano for that. I think it was 7 years. And by the time I hit high school, I picked up a guitar, and I just kind of dropped jazz piano studies and just started I just immersed myself in songwriting and listening to the best singer-songwriters on the radio, and just even outside of the radio, I just got obsessed with writing music and writing lyrics and creating melodies. And yeah, that's pretty much my background.
As I mentioned earlier, I've been playing classical cello for a very long time, since age 4. And sometime in middle school, I was really starting to want to see myself as less of a cellist and more of a musician. And I picked up a bass guitar and took a couple lessons and sort of continued to teach myself how to play that, and kind of started singing. Hadn't really ever done that before, but had enough experience with music that it was pretty quick to figure out at least how to keep it up with the choir and with other people that were doing vocal things. And so by the time I met Dan and we had this connection, we kind of took those interests in things outside of our musical beginnings and just ran with them, and that's how we ended up here.
Mm. I'd say that vocally, we both had parents that liked to sing, whether or not if it was professional or whatnot. But he played cello and I played piano, so it was both instruments with a lot of expression. So we kind of just picked up vocals just because we were fans of music. We were listening to a lot of really good singers and just constantly singing along. And then just vocally, we never really received training. But I mean, when you're passionate about singing and just trying to, you just kind of learn how to express yourself in the best way vocally. And we just kind of developed off each other and kind of chiseled each other vocally. So.
And vocal harmony is at the root of almost all of our songs. From the very first song we wrote together to the stuff that we're in the process of writing right now, we try to prioritize interesting and nice listenable vocal harmony, because it is at the root of a lot of the music that we like too.
Yeah.
Well, you alluded to it, so why don't each of you give us 2 or 3 of your major music influences?
It definitely started in high school. Ethan was like, "Yo, you gotta check out John Mayer," and I was like, "John Mayer, like that's what all the girls listen to." Like, yeah. I was like, fine, let me check it out. And then I ended up becoming a huge fan. I was like, you were right. He's awesome. So that was our high school phase. And then I think we kind of shifted towards Coldplay towards the end of high school.
Mhm.
Huge fans of Coldplay. And then Kings of Leon. And then who else?
We're really into Young the Giant right now and have been for a couple of years. Robert Glasper Experiment, really, really interesting jazz group that we discovered in the last few months that we
Yeah.
haven't been able to put down. And yeah, those other bands too. There were a lot of bands we listened to together in high school, but John Mayer and Coldplay and Kings of Leon and they and James Blake even now too is one of
Shout
our
out to
yeah
James Blake.
he's one of our big favorites right now. But those have all persisted as our favorite and most influential musicians and artists. And yeah, they haven't stopped in any
Yeah.
sense. So we still are learning from them.
That's terrific. So, how do you use social media to connect with fans and get the word out about your music?
Well, I think our three most prominent accounts are Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And we have our own website as well that we take pride in. But yeah, I mean, we just kind of, follow the bandwagon on everything at first, and just, you go to a band's Facebook page and you're like, oh, that's nice, let's do that. But we've been really lucky to have a lot of good friends that are really into marketing and social media. And shout out to our roommate, Matt Nolman. He
Nolman.
kind of has taken it upon himself to run a lot of our social media pages and help us out. So it's kind of nice because, especially when we have day jobs, and then in all of our free time we're trying to focus on music and writing and performing. So sometimes putting all your effort into social media and reaching out to fans is just like, but I'm like kind of in the zone musically. I don't want to have to do that too. So we've had a lot of friends that are able to do a lot of the legwork for us, which has been really cool. But yeah, you want to
Yeah,
talk
we
about our latest campaign?
we have something going on right now we'd like to share social media wise. We have a really, really good friend in the area. Her name is Sherry. She runs a restaurant in Upton, Massachusetts called the Red Rock Bar and Grill, and it's the best place to eat in the whole state. I would say maybe all of New England. I think we'll find out, but that's where I'm pretty sure it is now. And she's so great. She's invested so much of her own time and money into letting us play there at the restaurant. Into she plays our music in there during the day when people come in and eat. And she's a real music lover and wants to help us out in every possible opportunity that she could come up with. And right now, her personal mission is to get us on the Jimmy Fallon Tonight Show. And over the past couple days only, she has started a social media campaign on Twitter using this hashtag, which is hashtag Fallon Tonight Bandits, and is trying to blow up Jimmy Fallon's Twitter feed so that he might take interest in us and check us out, and who knows, maybe invite us to go on the show. And we understand how lofty of a goal that is, but hey, we're gonna go with it because we can, and because it's the most interesting thing happening in our network right now.
She's a bold woman, and we're gonna join in on some guerrilla marketing. So let's do this.
She is. We're huge fans of her ambition and are trying to match that, certainly, and that the end result of this is hopefully helping us out. So yeah, hashtag Fallon Tonight Bandits for anyone listening or watching.
Terrific. We'll have to start hashtagging it.
Or else we'll start blowing up your feed too. No, just kidding.
Well, you're already on Amused Now. Maybe that's all you need, baby. I don't know. Well, Amused Now is about artists helping artists. So, what little piece of advice do you have for other artists and bands who are trying to make a name for themselves?
Well, I would say making a name for yourself. I think the thing that's made it happen for me is it's my favorite thing to do, hands down. Like somebody could say, "Hey, here's some money to play a show," and I'd be like, "Great." So the next day, somebody's like, "Hey, want to come play for free? And I'm like, absolutely. Like it's my favorite thing to do, like no matter what. Like every night, if I can go and play a show with friends and share musical experience with people, like that is my favorite thing, and I'm so passionate about it. And Ethan is too, and we all are. And if it's not your favorite thing to do, it's gonna feel very hard sometimes. Um, so yeah, if you just pursue it, if you're passionate about it. And I think for a second piece of advice, um, I think you were gonna speak.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Definitely what I've found has been one of the most helpful things along the way has been um, looking to friends and colleagues of ours that are to us that have actually spent time and had experience in the music business. And I read somewhere or heard from someone a couple of years ago that every man considers himself an expert in music and politics, no matter what kind of experience they've had in those fields. And that statement has held up pretty well throughout my experience with most people. And a lot of people will tell you at a show or after hearing your album what they think of your music and what you should be doing. And they'll say, oh, you should go tour. You should go tour around the whole country right now and make as many fans as you can. Or they'll say, knock on every record label's door and try to get them to cut you a deal. And those people are a dime a dozen, really. And we have been lucky enough to make a few connections with some real music industry professionals that are in our area that have done real dirty work and have maybe at times dated, but always honest, truthful, and insightful advice. And those are the people that I would always recommend to anyone interested in trying to make some headway in this business to hunt down and to constantly listen to and ask for advice, because it's the most helpful when it comes from someone who's not only been around the block but really cares about it and loves it enough to want to see you succeed as well, which is as lucky as we've been with a couple people. So yeah.
Sage advice. You are very wise. So what's up next for Blue Light Bandits?
Well, in January, we are excited to announce that we will be recording for one full day in a pro studio in Boston with Converse. Converse is doing this awesome project right now to get independent bands some free studio time with a professional studio engineer in their Brooklyn and Boston headquarters. We have applied for that time and received it. I think sometime in mid-January we'll be going in to record as many songs as we can in one day's sitting with them, and we're stoked to see what those mixes are going to come out like, and those will be new songs we'll release in the spring, hopefully. And we're looking at next year, really hoping that since we'll still be in the area, that we can get our name on a couple festival bills or local shows that carry a little bit of weight to them, and try to maybe shrink the frequency of how many shows we're playing and try to increase the notoriety and attention and I don't know, suspense and behind each one, and make them heavier and more important. And yeah, that's, I don't know, a very long,
Yeah, I mean,
convoluted way of saying it, but yeah.
Yeah, this past summer we were playing like 5 or 6 shows a week. It was awesome.
Good money.
It was great.
Good money.
But we were just trying to just get all over our local area and get everybody to know who we are. And it went really well, and we had a blast, and we made a name for ourselves in the local markets. But recently we had the opportunity. We started talking to a booking agency from New York City, and we're hoping to in 2015 start working with them, and they want to get us on these small burst tours on weekends, getting us down to Philly, New Jersey, New York City to play clubs. And I'm really excited to work with them and just to get, just to spread across the Northeast and spread our music around. So that's what's up for us, and we're excited. So
Sounds like a plan.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you'll have to keep in touch, and when you release the EP or whatever it is that you record, you'll have to let me know.
Of course.
We will.
Well, Dan and Ethan, I had a fabulous time getting to know you tonight.
Likewise, Cynthia, thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, it's so awesome to be on this.
Well, definitely keep in touch, and I wish you all good things. Good night.
Thank you, you too. Good night.
Good night.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Kahn, founder of Amused Now. This featured artist presentation has been brought to you by Amused Now Entertainment, a website that enables artists to profit from their creativity. To learn more about Amused Now, visit us at www.amusednow.com or email me at ccon@amusednow.com.